I watched Being Eddie, the new Eddie Murphy documentary, twice this morning. It's such a different type of documentary because it feels like we're just spending the day with him and he's just like telling stories, right? I could really listen to Eddie Murphy talk all day. There was a part of this documentary that was shot. He went back to SNL and it had Tracy Morgan in it, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle. And I was like, bruh, to be a fly on that wall. And somewhere in the middle of watching it, I just had this moment where I was like, we're really in the presence of greatness. Eddie Murphy is very self-aware, as he should be, of his impact. He's also very aware, like, I made some iconic movies and I've also made some bomb movies. But also, as much as I love the movies he's made, I love his intentionality. And when he talks about his life in the 80s, okay, so listen, I don't care for a biopic about Eddie Murphy. I don't think anybody could play him. But like, I would love for him to like take his many stories of the 80s and turn it into like a miniseries or something, because baby, those stories just sound like a magical time, right? He said he lived the greatest 80s life, and I like really believe him, because those stories that, like, if you watch the Chappelle show and you saw his late brother Charlie Murphy, rest in peace, when he was telling those stories, they sound too good to be true. Turn that into some scripted something. Tell us these stories, because I just want a glimpse. You know what I'm saying? I can see why like this man loved being at home and be with his family. This documentary reminded me that Eddie Murphy really is the GOAT. You know, you see him being respected by his peers, you see him at peace, you see him reflecting on all he's done, and it's not ego, it's legacy. You know, he said in the documentary, I wanted to be funny like Richard, cool like Elvis, and as big as the Beatles. And in my opinion, that's exactly who he became. So I didn't grow up on Richard Pryor. I grew up on Eddie Murphy. I didn't learn and appreciate Richard Pryor until I was older. You know, for me, it was Dr. Dolittle, The Nutty Professor, Coming to America. There weren't that many family movies that had Black characters, but weren't necessarily centered around Blackness. But he gave us that. What I took away from Being Eddie is that he changed the game just by being himself. He didn't have to force anything. He just existed in a way that shifted comedy, film, and culture forever. And okay, I just feel like the house needs to be credited, because the very first shot you get, I was like, is this his house? Because that's a big ass hole. Like, he has a courtyard in his house, right? But then when they closed it, I said, baby, I don't make enough money to watch this. Like, what? So Being Eddie isn't about performance, it's about presence. And Eddie Murphy's presence reminds you what effortless greatness really looks like. Have you seen Being Eddie? If you have, what's your take on it? If you haven't, make sure to check it out. It is on Netflix. I will see you in the comment section.